The Jags' 8-game winning streak has come to an end.
Ah!
Wow. Who could have seen that coming besides Coach Mangini, who warned us at every turn? Actually, I thought he ruined some segments, but he was right. Game-sealing interception from the Prince. 1 of 2 in the afternoon. Prince goes 18 for 30 for only 207 yards against that vaunted Bills pass defense that actually isn't.
What do you mean? It's the #1 pass defense in football.
Not in my book.
Okay.
How much of this loss is on Trevor?
Listen, Brew, what do I hate more than anything? What is this? Come on.
It's sad news.
You guys did not tell me this was happening.
Yeah! It's a sad Prince.
Fellas, I'm addressing you guys. This is a betrayal. This is a betrayal. I have fought for you guys.
Sad Prince music. You can put your wig on if you want. I'm still
Go to hell.
Ear. Okay, that's too much, Whit.
Brew, I was trying to do cogent analysis and be accountable. What do I hate more than anything?
When quarterbacks trying to rally their teams at the end of games end it with an interception.
Game-losing picks when it's in a particularly non-desperation situation. So, like, if there's 20 seconds left
right.
and you're
Hail Mary
and there's or you've got to go 60 yards in 20 seconds. So I didn't like the end of that game.
No.
You had a minute because I thought the Bills were a little too aggressive with the Josh Allen sneak. We don't have to get into it. You have maybe the strongest leg kicker in the history of the league.
Yes.
You're down 3, not down 4, so you didn't have to force it there. That lost them the game. I'm not saying they would have won it, but that lost them the game. And after the Bills fumble on the kick return, Trevor stumbling on the sneak on the 4th down run. I mean, it was going to be 14-3.
Yeah. Game of inches.
Right.
They say.
No,
and he was down.
No, he was down. It was a good call. So I'm not going to sit here and change what I value because it was my guy. It hurts more because there have only been 2 other losses like that in playoff history where a quarterback has multiple go-ahead from behind 4th quarter touchdown drives, and they don't win. The 13 seconds game and a famous Drew Brees game. Multiple go-ahead touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and then you lose anyway. And so it was this close to being, he could have been, I think just he and Mahomes would have been the only guys ever with 3 go-ahead touchdown drives in 1 quarter had he driven him down. He had an opportunity right there. Now, what I will say, despite you jackals, is I am very encouraged by the year and the direction I believe Trevor's going, because I didn't look at that as like he melted down. No, he made a terrible mistake, but I'm optimistic about where he's going, where the team's going. But they had an opportunity early to put a stranglehold on the game, and he slipped on the 4th and 2, and they had an opportunity late for him to go be a true legend, and he threw a pick on the first play. That's a tough spot. It just is what it is.
I believe Josh can, if he can check this quickly, I believe he has 7 interceptions in his 3 playoff games. I think that's
that's definitely right. He had 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in that.
It might be the most since during that time frame. Look,
good amount.
I don't put it all on Trevor. He threw 3 touchdowns. He played. He had some moments. He's got to get better. This team is really good. Like, I think, and obviously Liam Cohen is good. I don't mean that he's not a good quarterback. He's kind of the weak link, though. Like, he's solid, but he's not great.
But
now,
when they were great, they were great because
he had to
stretch.
Yes. He had to stretch, no doubt. But remember, earlier in the season, and you even said it, they were winning kind of despite him.
That's fair.
And so I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. But for them to get to the next level where they can really get to a Super Bowl, he's got to improve. Now, there's no reason to think he can't because of the jump he took under Liam Cohen. So if he takes that jump next season, then they should be a legit contender. But right now, if he were like an elite quarterback, they win that game going away, really. And so I just think he's got to improve.
So I don't put the loss on Trevor. I think Trevor should put the loss on him and then own it and improve based on what you're saying. I I was very encouraged by Trevor. Even the interception, the throw, the conviction in which he threw it, like it was a good throw. You could say it could have been better because it ended up getting picked. It was excellent defense. It was a great defensive play, but he didn't throw it with any hesitation. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with the ball, where he wanted to go, and he put it in a good spot. You look at this, it's like, I mean, his receiver is going to catch that ball if the defender doesn't knock it down, hopefully. And so you can live with that. If you are your Liam Cohen and you watch this back, do you want to have it back if you're Trevor? Absolutely. But some of the throws he made in this game, his ability to show resolve and be resilient and make some of these throws, I was really impressed. And so knowing what you have coming back next year, you had a receiver on the field that Parker Washington that no one knew about. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we got Parker Washington, you got Jacoby Myers, you got
Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter coming back.
All these weapons, Trevor, if he continues to improve, this can, and defense looks the way they look, this can be a very,
he's gotta
very
be more
scary
accurate.
team.
He's got to be
He's
more
kind
accurate.
of like Caleb without the spectacular,
his spectacular
side to it.
plays are the windows he fits it into. Like that was
a great throw. He had a corner route that he threw that was an excellent throw as well.
So, and the other thing, and this is where if the Jags defense stops Josh Allen, people are like, wow, they won 24-20, and he had those back-to-back, but they didn't, and that's the cost of, he's not a young player anymore. He's just finished year 5. He makes $55 million. You got the ball back, and had they lost, but he didn't throw that pick, you know what I mean? They get to a 60-yard field goal, and the guy misses it, whatever. It's one thing. So I do think this was a huge step in the right direction, and and I think they're the best team in that division, but
that concludes our Jags coverage for the year. Thanks for joining us. Gentlemen, you might as well play us out. We'll see you around the NFL draft in a few months, but until then, we'll talk about the other stuff.
That social media video really got you in your feelings.
I know. I got dozens of
You didn't want to
tweets.
say anything?
Josh Allen scores with a minute left, maybe too much time. The Bills hang on once Trevor throws it to the wrong team. Did Josh Allen's performance put the AFC on notice?
To me, yes, and if they weren't already.
Right.
And I don't want to relitigate old arguments, not amongst you guys, but amongst the media at large. But this is why pressure is good.
That's good.
The reason why it was good, that it was going to be bad if Josh Allen didn't come through, was because that makes a play like this, the 40-yard dart down in this game to try to come back and win, one of the biggest plays of the guy's career.
That's right.
Some folks who wanted this game to be a reputational free roll, like, well, I don't know, guys.
The Jags ran for 160
yards. The Jags run offense is so good.
Yep.
It's unfair to expect the guy who our dear friend Colin Cowherd calls the most talented player in the history of the league to be able to go into Duval County and win. Like, that pressure is good because when you come through, it has more stickiness to it. It's not just a wild card round victory. And I think that was a great example, Brew, of why the Bills are so scary. Because I don't even look at what Josh did yesterday as going Superman.
No.
I just look at that like, man, that's a good Josh Allen playoff game. Yeah. And I don't know that he made a mistake the whole game.
I was going to say that part. It was so efficient. It was excellent. And what we know them for and to be offensively, to lean into the run game, it was the worst output they've had all season. Yep. Obviously, we know who the Jags are up front, but if you look at the numbers, they suggest this is what they did on Sunday with the running back, with James Cook, who obviously rushing title leader, fewest rush yards, yards per rush, fewest rush attempts, fewest. Like, they did this without their typical running game. And Josh, when they typically don't have a running game like this, what do we expect Josh to do? Exactly what you said he didn't do. Superman. He didn't do it. He didn't give you the turnovers. He didn't give you the added unnecessary running that was throwing his body around. Now, he was banged up a little bit, but it was methodical. It was, I'm going to just continue to take what they're giving me, and when the time comes, he makes the play that's needed and that we all expect him to make, because the pressure is going to remain because he is the best player in the playoffs remaining. So Josh Allen, great performance for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, the AFC already had to be on notice. You know, he's clearly the best quarterback left in the conference, so they were already on notice. But I thought what was so impressive yesterday, like you said, with Superman mode is like he goes dynamic. I think it was somewhat, I mean, it wasn't Superman because it wasn't dynamic. It was just steady. It was almost like Jordan in the first three-peat is Superman mode, and yesterday Josh Allen was Jordan in the second three-peat. Not quite as dynamic, not as spectacular, but just killing you mid-range here and there, you know, and that's what he did. Yes, he almost threw for 300 yards, and we're saying that's not Superman mode. Ran for 2 touchdowns, you know what I mean? So he just was steady, and Superman mode usually has a couple of mistakes, a couple of wild, reckless plays. He didn't have much of that yesterday, and so he was just steady, and that's what's scary, because it's like, if he can do this without the mistakes, that really will make them scared.
Scared of the Bills yet?
Am I scared of the Bills? Interesting question. A little bit.
Wow!
A little bit.
Wow.
A little bit. There's only, we got 4 teams left.
They are, they were.
Well, let me ask you this real quick.
I'm not scared of the Broncos. I'm not scared of the Steelers.
So that's what I was going to ask you.
Not scared of the Texans.
If Broncos are playing the Bills.
Yep.
Let's assume you guys have won. I don't think the game's in that order, but doesn't pretend with.
I'll be rooting for the Broncos.
So you'd rather go to Denver than have the Bills come to your place. All right, you're scared. That's good.
Yeah.
I like it. You're supposed to be. That's good.
We're undefeated. We're undefeated on the road. I'd rather take my shots at Bo Nix.
A struggling offense.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Okay, good. You know what?
Josh Allen deserves our respect.
There you go, KW. You've
mean,
come a
he's not
long
the
way
best.
from
year
the
you
Bills.
say they
I
weren't
kind of
any
let
good.
you guys get away with the best. He's not the best quarterback in the AFC East, but I mean, check in on Greg's Packers. Didn't go great.
Nope.
Jordan Love had 4 touchdowns. That was good. But Green Bay ran the ball 3 times in the third quarter. Don't need to drain any clock. You're up big. Don't worry about it. Defense fell apart, right? Sorry. What was the story here? The Bears come back.
I'm going to be
I'm
honest.
not joking.
The camera's
like
going to
this.
come out
I
on
wasn't
it.
ready for that.
Yeah.
What was the story? The Bears come back or the Packers collapse?
It was the Packers collapse. And credit to the Bears. I'm going to say that right out the gate because they forced the Packers collapse.
Okay.
And so I don't agree 100% with what I heard out of Matt LaFleur, being that it was a lot of self-inflicted. The Bears punched you and then continued to punch you, and you stopped punching. I thought in the first half, that first quarter, I was almost ready to text the group. I promise you I was. Not because we were winning or anything like that. Matt LaFleur is on a mission to prove that he's a better player. I'm better. This is personal between myself and Ben.
And Ben seemed like he thought it was personal, and it was screwing up the Bears.
Yep.
He's going for these 4th downs early. They didn't need to.
It was mistakes.
Probably the most impressive play calling and creativity. And you got to have some wrinkles when you're playing a team for the 3rd time. You got to have some wrinkles. I thought they did that. And then the half, they're up obviously 21-3. And I'm not excited, but I'm like, okay. The second half come, and it's like Dennis Allen and that defense says, hey, if we're going to lose, we're going to give them everything we got. Because when you look at what they were doing from a pressure standpoint and what they started doing in that second half, this is what turned the tide. If you look at the numbers, in the first half, 2 pressures. Second half, 10. What did we see in Jordan Love and that offense in the first half? Him sitting back there, just surveying, being special, dissecting everything. In the second half, it was like, look, we can't let them sit back there, make them make an adjustment. They never adjusted. Offensively and defensively, you let Caleb continue to get outside contain, like rush lane integrity. It was the most, it was the most frustrating game to watch all weekend, because to have a lead 21-3 against the Bears, and Danny's in the stands with the cheese grater on his head. I can't wait. I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah. This is perfect. And then Caleb, what they know, this is why what he said, they knew who the Bears were. The late, great Denny Green, the Bears are who we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. Like, we know Caleb is capable of this.
Micah was tweeting, we just got to hold them off. Like, they knew.
Period. But that means you have to remain aggressive. You have to stick to the script. You got Josh Jacobs, and the running game was effective, and you stop. I'm done. I'm going to pass it to you guys. Because,
good analysis, though.
No, look, I agree. First of all, both stories are huge. I don't want to take anything from the Bears. This is what they do. This is not like this was the first or second time they've done it all year. So I do have to give them credit. They did it 7 times this year, came back like this and won games. So I'll give them credit. But the bigger story is the Packers, because for one, this might have coaching ramifications. Now, all the reporting seems that they're going to stick with Matt LaFleur. Micah has given him a vote of confidence. We saw J-Lo after the game, Jordan Love, give him a vote of confidence. And I really like LaFleur a lot. I think he's a very good coach. This game made me wonder, is he a great offensive coordinator and maybe not a great head coach? Now, where I would stand on him is and I get it, they're in a contractual situation where he wants an extension. He has 1 year left on his deal. I would love to have him for 1 more year at least. And let me see what happens next year. If I'm the Packers brain trust, I'm thinking, let me see what happens next year. If this happens again, we just have to move on. We know he's a good head coach and all that, or play caller stuff. But here's the deal, and I've criticized John Harbaugh on this. They had 3 losses this year where they led by 10 points entering the fourth quarter. No other team in the NFL had more than 1. So this is a pattern with them.
So why do you want to see more of it?
Well, because I do have a lot of respect for his head coach or his play calling.
Yeah.
I give him, maybe I'm giving him more credit than he deserves for Aaron Rodgers' resurrection. Rodgers looked like he was done at the end of Mike McCarthy's tenure. Okay. He comes out under LaFleur, wins 2 MVPs, and I give him credit for developing Jordan Love.
Yeah, and the very little we've seen of Malik Willis.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Right. So I like him a lot. Quickly, I'll say this. I said with Harbaugh, I was saying, his being there 18 years was a part of my reason why I thought it was time to move on. LaFleur's only been there a few years. I don't think they've tired of his voice. So, look, it's going to be interesting. I would want to keep him for 1 more year.
Listen, I think the bigger story is the first flag planted of Caleb Williams' arrival. Mm-hmm. I think that has the longer historical tale, because I do think Caleb is going to be a great quarterback, and I think that we'll see how this season ends up, ending. But we've talked about that before. We're going to talk about that more. I want to say something about the Packers side of it. Because first of all, the fact that these 2 teams played 3 times, the Bears won 2 of them, and this graphic about offensive plays run while leading exists is the craziest thing I've ever seen. The Bears won 2 of the 3 games. They ran 0 offensive plays with the lead.
Real.
That's fascinating.
The last 2 ended almost the exact same way.
That should not be able to happen.
I mean, that is worth firing somebody.
I mean,
that's what I wonder. Is this
so you would get rid of him?
But
it's Falcons Patriots-esque. This is
which
going to
either was on the staff. He was on the staff.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it doesn't seem like they want to fire him, but it also seems like he wants a big raise. But
tough negotiation.
Here's what
I'm coming in for. How about a little more?
Is what's so wild. I'll just be very quick. I've never seen a comeback like this in this regard. The Bears were not that good through large stretches of the comeback.
Yes.
They turned it over on a 4th down in the 5-yard line. They got a huge punt return to put them on the plus side. They got 2 yards on the drive. They gave up a touchdown.
Yeah.
During the Packers had 8 drives after going up 21-3. I've never seen, so like as brilliant as Caleb was overall in the second half, there were a ton of moments watching it where it's like, oh man, if the Bears score here, they could come back. They don't score, and they came back anyway because the Packers gave them the ball back instantly. It was the Packers, after going up 21-3, had 2 missed field goals, 3 3-and-outs, a 5-and-out, the end of the game, and a touchdown.
Extra point.
Which should have, right, the missed extra point.
Run the ball. Run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
You got Josh Jacobs.
Run the
back
ball.
there too.
I mean, a delay of game coming out of timeout. It was just, things like that was like, what are we doing?
tough.
And by the way, I'm going to say this last thing really quick.
Yeah.
If everybody comes back healthy, Matthew Golden must stay on the field.
Oh my.
I like that.
Period.
That
Do not
play-
take him off the field.
Yeah.
He is the best receiver.
Well, that's.
I thought it was over after that play he made.
Well, yeah. Usually when a
I don't
team
know if we
scores a
can show
touchdown
it.
to go up 11 in the 4th quarter,
were
that
saying.
usually
Of course
ends the
they
game.
missed the extra point, but
And the other piece of it, they were 9-3-1. Micah got hurt and they're 0-5. It might just like 2 teams
bit.
thought they were going to have Micah Parsons this year, ended up not having him, and they couldn't win after. So
He's probably pretty good.
he's pretty good.
Sneaky MVP case.
There you go. So,
Meanwhile,
like
in
Mahomes
Philadelphia.
MVP case. Exactly.
The Eagles offense sputters and stalls. The 6th time this year they do not score a touchdown in the second half. It won't be the last. Kittle went down, and Kyle got more creative, having Jawan Jennings hit CMC in the end zone. Did the 49ers win this game, Greg, or do you think the Eagles lost it?
A little bit of both, but I think the 49ers went in there and they won that game. I thought the 49ers, how they came out attacking, and when you take you back a few years, when you've lost to a team and you didn't have your quarterback, and you lose your quarterback in the game, obviously in the NFC Championship game a few years back, you never lose that. You never forget that. And so coming back to this same place where that happened, knowing you're injured, but we've had the success all season long. So we're not going to give ourselves an out. So even losing George Kittle during the game, that's when I thought, this might be over. But they kept doing the same things that they've done all season long. Unheralded guys making plays. You mentioned
DeMarcus, juice check.
It's good to have a Super Bowl champion.
It's great to have players who know who they are and you boost their egos a little bit. And then on the flip side, when you look at the players that didn't make plays for the Eagles, you can't win with it. I tell my kids this all the time. I know how talented you guys are. I expect for everybody to then walk away knowing how talented you guys are because you execute. We know how talented the Eagles are. But when they don't execute, which they haven't in second halves, it's been largely because either the quarterback didn't make the plays, either they couldn't run the ball, or the receivers weren't involved. And somehow, yesterday, every receiver got opportunities. They missed opportunities. The quarterback wasn't great, but he wasn't as bad as the number suggests. So for AJ, Devontae, and I know Devontae doesn't talk a lot, but AJ had a lot of opportunities. And I supported AJ all season long. You got to give him the ball. They tried to give him the ball, and in big moments, he let his team down. And more importantly, he let himself down because he's going to feel that, and we have those moments. But you can't be that when your team is actually making you a part of what we're trying to do. You can't have those moments, and I feel for him because, well, I haven't been there, but I've seen it happen. It happens to the best of us.
This is the killer.
That one
right there, I think they probably win the game.
You can't. You go to your guy.
Yep.
And you, on the flip side, you got Purdy who's thrown the 2 picks. Who is his guy? But everybody seemed to come up with a play.
Greg, real quick, are you saying you haven't been there because you haven't?
I knew you were going to go back.
Haven't had a game with multiple drops?
No,
Not
I've
playoff
definitely had games with multiple drops.
Okay.
Not games, a game, I believe. It happens.
Okay.
But
Well, what do you mean
But
you
I wasn't on my quarterback. I wasn't out.
That's the thing.
And just
That's
making it known that we
Yeah.
got to be this in the past.
Give me the ball.
When you make those claims, you have almost zero margin for error.
See, that stinks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like KW. It's like the days when you on the call are like, this is quoting you, Kevin Wildes. I have to carry the show today, guys, because the Ravens and Chiefs are out, and then then you're not good. That makes Brew and I madder than just regular days when you're not good.
When you're bad,
When you're
but
bad,
not
but you're
talking,
just
it's
like
fine.
you didn't like demand touches. Like it just happens. Like we all get it.
This was the Niners win. And because it was a coaching clinic. Like, it was like the Niners were doing calculus and the Eagles were doing their times tables.
Oh.
I mean, it was that. The Eagles were predictable, and, of course, their stars didn't make plays.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners, I mean, when they came out with the play with Jawan Jennings,
Loved
the
it.
jet sweep, fake jet sweep, and the kind of like a flea flicker and all that, his pass, I think the Eagles were like, you can do
You're
that?
allowed.
You're allowed to do it. I mean, when you compare the play calling, it was just night and day. Then they had to go out and execute it, and that's a great catch.
I was going to
We
say,
just showed, right?
the catch, the throw is great. The catch from a
It's a
running
great
back.
catch from a
Oh my
running back.
gosh.
And we just showed A.J. Brown, one of the best receivers, making some drops. And I'm not saying those were easy catches, but you catch those or you're a receiver. And then the running back makes this play. Juszczyk had a catch behind his body, like a fullback,
Yeah,
you know?
great.
So their players executed the superior play calling, and that was the difference. The Eagles didn't execute the inferior play calling.
So I agree with that, and I think that when you look at, if we throw up the graphic about games lost due to injury this year, so many teams, it feels like their coaches or the teams are like, just what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
Injury bug got us. Meanwhile, the Niners have some power play that's poisoning their players for the last decade, and they make the conference championship.
Hey, something's up,
every
though.
month.
Nothing's up.
I don't know, man. That guy who said sunlight is life had a compelling tweet thread. We all saw it. But my point is, and Kittle pops his Achilles during the game, and they just keep rolling. So I don't want to not give the Niners credit. I also don't want to gloss over the fact that this Eagles season as a whole was, all things considered, one of the most indefensible Super Bowl defenses we've seen in 15 years. The last Super Bowl champ to not win a playoff game was the 2019 Pats. But again, they had been to 3 straight Super Bowls. It was kind of a last dance situation. You know what I mean? That feels different to me. Like Brady.
Brady was still great.
Brady
as
was
he showed.
still great, but that still feels different, at least to me. We have had some Super Bowl champs the next year miss the playoffs outright because they weren't able to overcome injury like the Rams did the year after they won the Super Bowl. This Eagles team, from week 2-3 on, it's like, man, that offense sure seems to go into hibernation for quarters at a time. It sure seems like they should figure that out. Man, A.J. Brown sure seems to be unhappy with something. I know that because I paid for the Twitch stream where he talked about it for everyone, told him to drop him in fantasy.
Yeah.
They changed nothing. The offensive coordinator, everybody's mad at him. Nope, we're not going to change anything. They've changed coordinators before. The wide receiver does all this before the trade deadline. Trade deadline rolls around. Nope, we're rolling it. We're running it back. They just operated as if we're the 0-1 Lakers, and y'all think we think the regular season matters. Watch when we get a playoff switch. And the playoffs rolled around, and you went up against maybe the worst defense in the playoffs as far as injuries and availability, all of that.
Yeah.
And you looked like you did every game against any team with a pulse. Couple good drives and then nothing.
Tough.
And that was, just one last piece. They played the Bills in week 17. Did nothing in the second half of that game offensively, won it anyway, and then Nick Sirianni said, nope, don't need a tune-up. Don't need to try to get the 2 seed and end up playing the Packers. We are fine with being the 3 seed, and we want rest. and then the offense looked awful. And so that ain't great.